Good morning, and welcome to another episode of A Conversation with Father Orsi. I'm B.C. Cloutier, Chairman of the Board of Action for Light Sunlight Home, and this is my friend Father Michael Orsi. Hello, Father.
How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Oh, boy.
Yeah?
You like turkey?
I do like
You
turkey.
like turkey.
The dark meat.
Uh-huh.
The white meat is too dry for me. I like...
Well, you got to put some cranberry sauce on it. You know, cranberry sauce. It makes it taste better.
Well, there's that, mashed potatoes, squash. Let's not go there.
Oh, well. I mean, like next time we do this show, like you'll be...
5 pounds heavy.
Well, all right. All right. See, I got to watch, folks. I got to watch because you know what the Italians say? I got to deshug. That means I'm a diabetic, so I got to watch what I eat.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So when they say, let me make you a plate,
You gotta make you easy.
my former mother-in-law would say, BC, let me make you a plate.
Make you a plate. That's right.
Well, let's talk about Thanksgiving.
All right.
It's common to focus our gratitude on the gathering, the great food, the friends and family, our possessions, and all these beautiful blessings. And those are all blessings,
Right.
certainly. I found a piece of scripture, Deuteronomy 28, verses 2 through 6. If I may, I'm going to read it. All these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you if you obey the Lord your God. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your womb, the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your livestock, both the increase of your cattle and the increase of your flock. Blessed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out.
How about that?
Thanksgiving is about blessings, right?
It is. And oftentimes, for all of us, we forget to say thank you. And that is such an important thing. It makes a big difference in our relationship. First of all, simply with other people, just to say a simple thank you. People forget that these days. With this digital age, a lot of people are even sending thank yous on their iPhone.
Text.
Yeah. From my experience, and even from some of the studies that I've seen, it says nothing is better than a personal note.
Well, especially today because there are so few
Right.
personal notes.
Yes.
That when you send one, people go out of their way to say, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I got that card
Right.
you sent. Thank you so much."
Right.
And
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
It makes a big difference. Even the personal thank you, to say thank you to someone who has done something for you. Maybe they're not even expecting a thank you. But let me just give you an example. I have a grand nephew. His name is Pompeo O'Shea. Now, how do you figure that one out?
We've talked about this before.
Yeah. I mean, little Pompeo, they call him Peo, is a bit of a divil, and we've known that from his past adventures. But his father took him down to the Jersey Shore, Wildwood. And little Peo was about 7 years old, and his father's holding his hand, and he looked up and he said to him, "Daddy, thank you for taking us to Wildwood." And my nephew was so touched by the whole thing, and he said to his wife, he says, it cost a lot of money to have this kid, and he sure gives us enough trouble, but he's worth every cent of it. And that's because the little boy knew enough to say thank you. It makes a big difference.
I'll tell you another thank you that I think people, including me, often miss, and that is, how many times do we kneel down to pray to God and ask and never say thank you?
Yeah, we forget to say thank you.
Say, God, thank you for this life, for this day.
Right.
We
take a lot for granted. We do take a lot for granted. And sometimes, if we dodge the bullet, like just say you have some kind of a serious problem, physical problem, maybe an illness that, like cancer or something like that, and you pray, God, please, please, please help me, and then you get cured of the cancer, or at least it goes into remission, and you go, I dodged that bullet, but did you take the time to say, hey, God, thanks for what you did for me? That's extremely important. Gratitude is extremely important. It's a part of what it is to be a creature, that our Creator has given us so much, and that we have to be grateful for what God has given us. Thanksgiving goes way back to those pilgrims they invited the Indians. Sorry, folks, the indigenous people.
The Native American. Well, they weren't Americans yet, right? They were just natives.
I guess so. Anyway, whoever was being invited, and there was a way of saying thank you. It was a way of saying, hey, look, all the good things that God has given us. Let's even invite our friends, the Native Americans, the indigenous people, the Indians, whatever the case may be. And so we want to share these blessings with them.
That was an act of kindness and thanksgiving because they were different than the Pilgrims.
Yeah.
Right? And we still struggle with that issue today.
Right.
It's, just because somebody's different doesn't make them bad.
Right. But, part of saying thank you to God, you got to say that thank you to the Creator, is the idea that you have to share the blessing. And that's what those pilgrims did. They were very biblically rooted, especially in the Old Testament. You just read from Deuteronomy.
Right.
That's Old Testament. It's part of Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. They're the books of the law. And law is not simply the 10 Commandments, although that's the foundation basis of the law. It's to share God's goodness to us with other people. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And it's a wonderful thing when we can say, God, you've given us so much, and I want to share your goodness with other people. And so a lot of people, as you know, for Thanksgiving, they invite people who, not just relatives and friends, sometimes they're neighbors, or they find out that there is someone who is lonely or has nobody. We have a wonderful couple in St. Agnes's Parish, and now part of the Action for Life Sunlight Home family, Michael Tarantino. In fact, you're going to get a chance to meet Michael. He's fantastic. Well, so happens, I taught his wife in high school, and they said to me a number of years ago, do you know anybody in the parish that has no place to go? And there was one of our senior citizens. His wife had just passed away. He has no family here. He's 90 years old. And they said, we'd like to have him. I said, this is who I have. Would you like having this gentleman? And they said, yes, we'd love to have him. He's become a part of their family. They call him Uncle Jim. I mean, so there you go, and this old gentleman, the senior citizen, he is so happy to be a part of that family. And it becomes generational. It's not just, Michael and Carmela, but it's their children and their grandchildren, and Uncle Jim is there now too. And it's a wonderful way to teach children to be generous, because God has been generous to us.
I'll tell you another one, and that is, and frankly, despite my best intentions, we never did this when my kids were younger, but take your family down to, a homeless shelter. Mm-hmm. Spend a couple of hours just serving the meal to these people who don't have what you have.
Right.
It's a great message to your kids.
Right.
To give back,
Right. That's one of the main events at St. Matthew's House, Thanksgiving. At Thanksgiving, it's a wonderful, wonderful experience where you have people are coming in. Sometimes they're not just poor or living out in the woods. We have a lot of people, folks, they're living out in the woods. They pitch their tents and they live out there. But there are also people who maybe they're not down and out, but they're lonely, and they want someplace to go to sit around the table and to talk to other people. St. Matt's puts out a meal that you couldn't be beat in the finest restaurant here in Naples. Let me tell you that, folks. And they also give out food to people who say, we don't want to come, but we need food for the holiday. And I think they give out about 8,000 turkeys, and this is important stuff. So let me tell you, folks, give to St. Matthew's House. Give to St. Matthew's. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization. Old Father O is on the board. You know what I like best about it, BC? You know where the money is going.
Right.
And it's right here in the community.
And it's local.
Yeah, it's local.
They are just a great charity. What I was going to say is, you talked about what a great Thanksgiving meal. Many people don't know that St. Matt's has a whole catering division or department, whatever you want to call it. And so not only is Thanksgiving great, I've attended events, as I know you have, that have been catered by St. Matthew's House, and it's everything. The food, the service, everything is excellent.
Yeah, and it's called, like, if you're having a party or something or an event and you want a caterer, you call St. Matthew's House. It's called Delicious by Design. Delicious by Design. I'll tell you something more about Delicious by Design. Those people who are working in the kitchen, in the delivery, in the serving, those people who are oftentimes sous chefs, they were part of the program at St. Matthew's House, and then because they graduated the program, they developed skills, they needed jobs, and St. Matthew's House then can even provide jobs in their catering company. And folks, Lulu's Kitchen is right there on 41 next to St.
On Airport Boulevard, right near 41.
Near 40, yeah, right before you hit the government center over there. It's called Lulu's Kitchen. Lulu's Kitchen. And if you want wonderful food, go over to Lulu's Kitchen. It's not just that you're going to have some good food to eat, but you're going to be helping these people who are in recovery to begin to make money and get themselves back on their feet and to develop some really great careers. But like down here, food is like a big thing, right?
It's
a big thing everywhere. But I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, like the cuisine and the restaurants and hotels and all that stuff. They could take these skills wherever.
I'll tell you, Lulu's, I was there, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago for lunch. They have pizza on the menu now. It's hard to find good pizza in Florida.
Yeah, unless you want to go to Brooklyn, you go to Lulu's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No kidding. I mean, the crust is outstanding.
Yep.
What a great pizza they put out. So I was thrilled by that because oftentimes I have a chicken sandwich or a burger or whatever.
Right.
Great restaurant. Great. I mean, St. Matt's, this is an organization that, should be featured on 60 Minutes.
Right.
It is an incredible success story.
Yeah, and they're always giving thanks. Part of their whole program is to recognize how much God has given to us and how much we're dependent upon God for everything that we have. And so everything is done in prayer. And so what'll happen, I'm telling you right now, when you are at Thanksgiving dinner and turn on television, you're watching the news, invariably the news networks are there filming at St. Matthew's House, Friendship House over in Immokalee, and even at some of our locations in LaBelle and in Alva. Alva. There'll be opportunities at those places released for food distribution.
It's great.
It is.
And it's all part of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And again, we'll go back to the beginning of the program. Thanksgiving is more than turkey and cranberry sauce and all the fixings, and it's more than hanging out with people that you love.
Right.
You really have to think about all of the goodness that God has bestowed on you and be thankful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, folks, I mean, you have an obligation to God. When you have an obligation to God, you have an obligation to your neighbor too. And that's part and parcel of Deuteronomy. God gave us everything. He gave us this wonderful earth that we live on, live off of, basically. And we're called to work the earth and then to bear the fruit of our labor and then to share God's largesse with other people.
When we're going 90 miles an hour, Father, a lot of holidays lose the original meaning.
All right.
Veterans Day. How many people go out of their way to run into a veteran on November 11th and say, thank you for your service? Every veteran in America put his or her life on the line. Now, some of them didn't face fire. I'm one of them. I was in the Navy, and I never was in a combat situation. But everyone who was in the military swears to put their life on the line. Christmas, become a retail holiday,
right.
not the birth of Christ. And we'll talk about that in a few weeks when we get to Christmas.
Right.
There are so many of these holidays that retail has taken over,
right.
and we've lost the meaning of what that holiday signifies.
But we here in Collier County, I'm sure the same is true in Lee and some of the other surrounding areas, we are doing a pretty good job about remembering our vets. There are going to be a number of events, or there have been a number of events that took place, around Veterans Day, and We make sure that our veterans are recognized. We thank them for their service. The VFW, the American Legion, all of the different political organizations do make an effort to recognize our veterans and even to supply luncheons. Many of our restaurants supply lunch or free breakfast if you are a veteran. So we are making that effort. We love our military.
You know, this is true in a lot of places, but certainly here in Collier County, if you're a veteran, there are an awful lot of businesses that'll give you a 10% discount just because you're a vet.
Right.
And for veterans out there who don't have veteran on your driver's license, all you do is go to the DMV or the tax collector and you give them a copy of your DD-214, which is your discharge paper. It's a one-page thing. And they will put veteran on your license so that anytime you say, hey, I'm a veteran, show your license, 10% off.
Yeah.
Which is just a nice gesture.
You know, even this free parking for vets at the airport. How do you like that? So we do our best here in Southwest Florida to recognize our veterans. And this past Veterans Day, I was at a couple of events honoring our veterans, and even events that are recognized, that have recognized the founding of the U.S. Army, the Marine Corps. It's just a beautiful thing. And there are free breakfasts at Fleischman's Park. I think it's every Saturday morning for our veterans.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just fantastic. And we also have groups like Rolling Thunder. That you could say they're a motorcycle club, but they're not just a motorcycle club. But what they do is that they make sure that all of our POWs and MIAs are not forgotten, and they try to contribute to different organizations so that veterans will have support back here when they come home. And we'll be building a veterans home right here in Golden Gate, which is, I think, it's starting building this year, 2026.
Sweet.
Yeah. You have someplace to go, BC.
Those are all great forms of Thanksgiving.
Right.
We're going to take a break, but we'll be back right after this.
Sunlight Home is a faith-based organization offering residential programs to women who are pregnant or are victims of sex trafficking or abuse. At Sunlight Home, we envision a world where every pregnant woman in crisis finds refuge, hope, unconditional love, and the tools to build a thriving future for herself and her child. We believe that every mother deserves the opportunity to break cycles of poverty, abuse, and homelessness through faith, education, and empowerment. Through Christ-centered care, life skills training, and unwavering support, we strive to transform lives, one mother and baby at a time, ensuring they not only survive but flourish.
We'll get back to a conversation with Father Orsi in just a moment, but right now I'd like to talk to you about the cost of producing and airing this television program, which amounts to about $3,000 per episode. Now that includes the production costs and the airtime, but $150,000 a year is a pretty big hill to climb. And I'm here to ask for your help. We think that you enjoy the program, at least that's what we hear. The board of directors believes that this is a very good investment. I hope you feel that way too, obviously. What I'd ask for is that you consider contributing to actionforlife.org. You can go online, you can contribute once, you can contribute on a monthly basis, and we are more than glad for either. Whatever's appropriate in your circumstances. But again, please go to actionforlife.org and make a tax-deductible contribution to keep a conversation with Father Orsi on the air. Thank you so much, and God bless to you and yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a society today that talks an awful lot about being woke. And unfortunately, some of our churches are falling into that trap too, that they want to be woke. In other words, they want to get on the current wave, what's happening in our culture. They want to be with it. And in doing so, they are selling their birthright for a bowl of porridge. What do I mean by being woke? Sometimes churches have said, we are now welcoming communities. And that means basically, hey, anything goes here. I'm okay, you're okay. come on in. No, the churches must challenge us using the gospel as our guide as to what is good and what is right for human beings. So if you go to a church that's woke, I would suggest that you get woke and get out, because that church is not doing you or your family any good.
Welcome back to A Conversation with Father Orsi. I'm B.C. Cloutier. We're talking about Thanksgiving today, Father, because Thursday is Thanksgiving. And during the break, Father and I were chatting a little bit, and you know, this does not, to a lot of people, does not occur to them, but being thankful for going through difficult times
Right.
and getting through them should be part of the repertoire on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, sometimes, maybe all the time, we forget to thank God, even for the difficult times. And
Which we all experience.
yes. And it's not just a matter of saying, "Phew, I came out of it," but it's a matter of saying, what did God teach me in this difficulty? And believe me, folks, I've been there. I've done that, okay? And usually we're going to find out, I have often found out, that even those things that look terrible, in some way, God has given us that incident, that what we thought to be disaster, to teach us something else about Him and about ourselves. And we do come out of it better people. The key is to hold on to our faith and to never let go. You know, you have people, this has happened to me, there is no God, and I give up, and I'm not going to go to church anymore. You know, the dumbest one of all is, and now I'm mad at God. I'm mad at God. I mean,
But there are a lot of people like that.
know. I mean, like, God is going to be very upset that you're mad at him. I mean, come on, folks. The bottom line is this. God is going to lead you through that problem. Look, the book of Job, it's all about that. The book of Job, I mean, he had one thing after the other, you know, being thrown at him.
Yeah, boy.
And he never let go of his faith that somehow God was with him and that God was teaching him and that God was going to, in some way, work things out. He never cursed God. As the scripture says, he simply trusted, and he even told his wife, hey, honey, zip it. You know, stifle, to quote Archie Bunker.
What did he used to say, Archie? Do you remember?
Stifle.
Is that what?
Yeah, stifle. Edith Stifle. Archie, stifle. And his friends, he had these friends that were, you know, telling him, hey, come on, you must have done something wrong, you know, just tell God you're sorry. He said, well, I didn't do anything I could think of, but he knew that God would take care of him. And, you know, and that's one of the great things of faith. I mean, look at Jesus on the cross. I mean, if that ain't faith, I don't know what is. I mean, he's on that cross. I mean, it looks like the end, dead.
How about the guy beside him?
Yeah,
There's a guy with a lot of faith.
you better
right?
believe it. You better believe it. And then there's the other guy. He's cussing at Jesus and making fun of him and all that. That's the people that say, there is no God. I'm mad at God. I don't believe in God. That was the old thief on the other side that, he didn't get the past the paradise that the other guy got.
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, you know, unless we meet him on the other side and something happened we don't know about. Possible.
Hey, we do have a loving and forgiving God, so we don't know.
We don't know. We don't. As a matter of fact, you know, some people say, "Who's in hell?" And you know, the bottom line is the only one that traditionally has been said to be in hell is Judas. But when you ask people to say, "Oh, Hitler is definitely in hell," well, we don't know.
We don't know, but he certainly deserves to be.
Yeah, from our point of view,
Right.
But
You
we're
don't
not
know.
God.
We're not God. We're not God. You know, it's the same thing with any kind of, look, maybe he was mentally ill. Not he was horribly mentally ill, you know, if that's the case. Was he responsible for what he did? Well, that's up to God. I mean, was he pure evil? Well, as far as we can say, it looked like it's pure evil. But can we say for sure that Hitler is in hell? Or people like Stalin and Mao, who did terrible things, killing thousands and millions of people.
I mean,
Yeah.
it goes on and on and on. People, you know, that
I went to the killing fields in Cambodia.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I was there, and they have all the skulls, you know, on display. It's sickening. I mean, it's just sickening the evil that perpetrated on human beings. In our opinion, yeah, he's a bad guy. He deserves to be in hell, and he's there. Well, don't jump to conclusions too fast. If we get to heaven, we'll find out.
I think it's interesting that people who survived the Holocaust, largely Jewish people who survived the Holocaust, many of them, despite the experience, are thankful.
Right.
They appreciate that God saved them.
Right.
I'll tell you another, you know, when you're a kid, your parents teach you to say thank you.
Right.
That's a really valuable habit
Right.
that is developed early in life. I have a friend, he's gotten me into this habit. One of my friends, my golf buddies up in Buffalo, whenever we go out to play golf, before we tee off, he says, loving God, I want to thank you today for this beautiful day and for the opportunity for the fellowship, etc. It's just a thank you to God for something as simple as, I'm really happy I can come and play golf.
Right. Yeah.
And he's got me in that habit. So my point is not that my friend in Buffalo is somebody special, although he is, but that saying thank you is an important thing, and being thankful is an important thing.
Right. You know, sometimes, you know, we forget just to thank God for the beautiful creation that we live in. And I am out on my lanai, you know, and I'm having myself a Coke, and you know, and I look around and I say to myself, hey, God, thank you so much for letting me live here. And thank you for getting me out of New York City. I don't want to be there anymore. I'll get to that. I will promise I will get to that. I'm agitated to no end about the situation.
And God, thank you for family and friends, for the great feast we're going to have on Thursday, and thank you for your blessing.
And for BC.
And thank
Yeah.
you, Father. Lastly, thank you for being with us today. We hope you join us again next week, same place, same time, for a conversation with Father Orsi. Until then, have a great week and God bless.